Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for episode 158 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple, and I'm joined by my co-hosts,
George Breden,
James Fitzgerald.
In this episode, we talk in depth about the board games Wispwood, Toy Battle, Black Angel, and much more. Enjoy the show. I straight just fumbled all of that.
I'm laughing because of the way you said toy battle. It's like one of those actor warm-ups. Toy boat.
It was pretty bad. That was first take, though. Actually, 99% of the time it's first take. So we're going with it. And before we talk about what we've been up to, and we got some games that we're going to talk about on this episode, obviously. I just said something that made no sense. Clearly, every episode is basically that. I typed in ChatGPT to give us a random question, and this one I think George is really going to appreciate. If animals could talk, which one do you think would be the biggest jerk and why? I mean, cats are pretty up
good
there.
answers. Oh yeah, cats for sure.
I think raccoons.
As far as their attitude, it would definitely be cats. But as far as just being evil bastards, it would be wasps.
Wasp.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's an insect.
Right. I don't know if it's classified as an animal.
What do you mean?
I guess. I think I'm thinking traditional, like not traditional, but like mammals. I don't know.
Okay, mammals. Yeah,
not
biggest
bugs.
Jerk mammal.
I'd say raccoons because they'd be like bugging you for trash and food. They'd be begging and stuff. And
I don't know if they'd be jerks though. They'd just be
They'd
sad.
be clever about it. Yeah.
They'd probably throw stuff at you while yelling at you for food.
Well, speaking of that, like those little monkeys at the zoo.
Oh yeah.
Or gorillas, they're jerks and they don't even speak. They throw poo at people.
Yeah. I can see raccoons just staring at you as they tip your garbage can over and just like flip you off.
This sounds like you have some experience with that.
There's a story there.
Just riffing off the top of my head there, actually.
No, that's fair. Man, if animals can talk, the world would be way crazier.
And
that
louder.
is a funny question, though. Like, which ones would be the biggest jerks?
Yeah, it's not even like if animals could talk, how would you feel about that? And it's like,
how nice would they be? Yeah, it's like all those Disney movies where the animals are all just chill and happy and stuff. No, which ones are going to be just completely against you?
Maybe dolphins, because they would just be making fun of us the whole time. We're all because they're smart, they're out there just swimming along and doing their thing, and they're like, these stupid humans.
They could be doing that now, and we just don't understand.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but we've been to the moon, so they can suck it.
Well, if you've watched Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, they've been to other worlds.
Yeah. So long and thanks for all the fish.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
That's a good question.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into what we've been up to. And let's start with James. James, you want to begin?
Yeah.
It has been, I will say this, it has been a while since our last podcast. Now, I took a few weeks to post the last podcast. I apologize to our listeners, but it's been a crazy month. And so I'm sure we have a lot that has been played between now and the last podcast because it's been so long. But we'll try to keep it kind of short. But go ahead and give us the highlights.
Funny you say that because my weekly gaming group, we were just talking about how it's been a bad year for us. We haven't met that much. So in November, I played a lot, but not a lot. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But we did play Sanctuary, which is, I think we all came to the conclusion we liked it better than Ark Nova.
Yes.
It was just more accessible, and it's pretty fun. We enjoyed it a lot. It's actually something probably I can get Crystal to play. It's not as daunting as Ark Nova. I mean, I like Ark Nova a lot, so don't think I hate Ark Nova. It's just this seemed better. It flowed better.
I absolutely have to chime in and agree. It is replacing Ark Nova in my library.
I tried to play Comic Hunters solo, and BGG warned me not to play it solo.
What game is this?
Comic Hunters.
Okay.
It's terrible solo, so I don't recommend it either. And I don't know who I can play
What's terrible about it being solo? I don't play solo games, but just for anybody listening.
The way they do it is the bot just takes cards. Well, they beat you like 200-50 because they get all the cards, they can score everything. And you're limited to what you can score based on what you draft in each round. And the drafting just kind of falls flat. I think it'd be better with multiple players instead of just me. And
are you supposed to be doing something to limit how many cards the bot gets?
There's different ways. It's different ways of drafting the cards. I mean, they have a unique way of, you go to a flea market, you go to something else where one is a grid where you're shifting the cards to match them so you can take them. Other ones you're taking rows, and the bot is taking the bigger row, and it would work better with. I mean, it's an interesting concept, but it'd be better with multiple players. It's just terrible. It was boring and just kind of dumb at solo. Just solo. I mean, I need to play multiplayer. I haven't yet. Went to Seattle for a conference right the week before Thanksgiving week. Played a bunch, actually. My boss plays he plays more card games. He's not a big, heavy gamer. And the best part of this trip of that sense was I met this guy on BGA a couple of years ago through a mutual friend of ours. And I've never met him. And he lives in Seattle. So finally, I was like, I'm going to be in Seattle. Let's meet up. So we met at the Mox Boarding House. I don't know if you ever heard of that board game. It's a board game restaurant. They've got two of them in Seattle, and they're great places. So we met there, and it was just, we hit it off. It was a blast. We played some weird laser game he got from Kickstarter. I asked him the name, and he called it Light Speed Arena. It was a real-time game.
Yeah.
You're trying to plant the ships down, and then you use an app, and the app does all the shooting for you and scores everything for you. It was interesting. It was fun. I don't know if I'd ever get it.
That's like a re-implementation of the designer's other game that he published with Stephen Bonnecore's company that he doesn't work for anymore.
Terraforming Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the name of that company?
Stronghold.
Yeah. Stronghold. They had a game by him. It was the same thing, and that designer, I guess, redid it a little bit, and then he also came out with an app that you just hold above. And did you all use the app to score?
Yes, that's what he did. He used the app, and you could step by step. It goes in order because it's the ranking of the ships. It does all the ones, does all the twos and threes. And it was interesting. I mean, you don't have time to think exactly the strategy. So it's a lot of luck based because you're like real quick. It's like each ship you're putting down, everybody puts it down like within a few seconds. So each ship you have to.
The best way I can describe that is it's like Neuroshima Hex, but real time.
Exactly. And you're trying to, and there's sometimes I'm like, my laser's about to shoot him, and then the app says I missed. So it was a little off on that, but it was fun. I had a good time with that. And then we played Thunder Road Vendetta because my friend / boss heard me talking about it, and it's always great. It's just stupid fun. We had a good time with that. He got some card games. I introduced him to Up or Down. He liked that. I introduced
that's a good one.
Introduced him to Fantasy Realms. I don't think he liked that.
Oh man.
Which is a great game. I love Fantasy Realms.
He said card game, and that's the one that defaulted into my mind.
Yeah, I think it was just too much of scoring and math.
Yeah, it doesn't play like a traditional card game. Yeah.
No, and I gave him the app, so he used that. I introduced him to trying to look through here. Hive.
Can I just say really quick, the app where you take a picture and it just scores for you?
No, you have to type in the cards. You select
there is
the
an
cards.
app that does that though, George.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, what's the other game that has that? There's something where you could just take a picture and it just scores the whole game for you. Like they're starting to make more of those now.
I know Ticket to Ride has something like that.
Every game needs this. Forest Shuffle needs this.
Forest Shuffle. Yeah. Oh, I think somebody did work on a.
Oh, maybe it's Forest Shuffle.
I think it is Forest Shuffle.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Oh, well, good. Well, good. I needed it. And the other one that needs it is the other one you already mentioned, James. It's Sanctuary. Man, would that be great?
Yes. But
I like calculating my score myself.
I'm
a traditionalist.
I mean, I do that a little bit in my head, but it helps with the app because you can say, well, if I add this card, take away this card, how's it going to change my score?
Yeah.
It's a little tedious, but it's still fun. I mean, Fantasy Rounds it's a great game. Been playing Pina Colada Dice, which is always fun. Just light games. We haven't been playing much heavy games. Like I said, my group, we met with Sanctuary, and then we also did, it's hard for me to say this, Kunta Hora. The City
Oh,
of
yeah.
Silver.
Yes.
I played that before. It's okay. It's not bad.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. My group, they're good at that kind of game where you're area control type game. I don't know really how to put it, but they stomped me on that. And then I got Hobbit there and back again. Played that a few times, rolling right in the
Yeah.
Hobbit universe. It's actually fun.
I was going to ask you because you and I don't usually like roll and rides, right?
Right.
I know I don't.
It's fun. You're trying to each map you're trying to go through and get to the end, or score the more points, which the last one I didn't make it to the elf city. It's Rivendell. I was supposed to try to get to Rivendell and I didn't make it because I was focused on the trolls, killing them instead. So I failed at that. But it's a pretty fun game. It's worth it. I highly recommend that if you like little roll and writes, and it was very good solo. It's more or less a solo game. Also, I'm trying my best to cut down on Kickstarters, but I'm excited. I'm getting a bunch in. So it's Christmas in December and November. Yeah, literally. Tyranno came in, my all in. I know George is jealous of that.
I am. I'm so irritated that I don't have mine yet.
Unmatched Adventures Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I'm pumped about to try that. That came in today.
I've been wanting to buy some of the Unmatched games, but then I saw that and figured that would be a better starting spot.
But that's that's a co-op game, though.
Never mind.
I mean, you can probably play it against each other. I would think so.
I wonder if it has cards. Does it have cards for them so you can use them as
the Krang? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, you can use those. Yeah, so you could fight Michelangelo against Donatello and all that stuff,
or Michelangelo against Bruce Lee.
Right.
Bigfoot.
I added on where you could make Krang and Shredder actual playable too, instead of just the bosses that you're trying to fight in the game.
Ooh.
Because just like the other game, you're playing against Martians, I think.
Yes.
And something else. Bigfoot. I can't remember. Not Bigfoot. I don't remember.
A cryptid, I think.
But yeah, so I'm pumped about that, to try that out. I got new Dice Throne Outcast, and so I tried to play some on the Dice Throne Adventures solo, and I got my butt kicked, but it was still fun. And Formaggio came in, which I haven't got to play yet. I'm still looking. I was hoping to play it yesterday, but everybody was too busy on the game group, so we didn't meet.
I'll tell you about it.
Have you played it?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that one. Yeah.
Okay, then that's me. That's all I've been up to.
All right, cool. Well, George, you want to go next then?
Yeah. Hey, I played Formaggio. but actually, I played Formaggio while I was at BGG Con in Texas, and I went down there, and I was a volunteer. They put me up for the badge and everything because I am interpreting for a group of deaf gamers. So we got together and had our DEF Con, the second one of the year. The normal one is in St. Paul in the summertime. It's always fantastic. But this has become our second venue, and it's growing. Last year we had only 3. This year it doubled to 6. So hopefully next year we'll have a group of 12 all down there signing away and playing games. It's fantastic.
Every time you say DEFCON, I can't even say it. DEFCON Con, it makes me think of like hip hop or something. DEF, like DEFCON.
Oh, DEFCON.
I thought you were going to say like defense condition.
No.
Man, you're like the only group of gamers that can rent out libraries and stuff.
What?
Yeah, because then
libraries.
Yeah, because you have to be silent. And so you can play games when people are reading books.
Yeah, well, it doesn't really work that way. I mean, you could be silent if you worked at it really hard, but
dad jokes.
Yeah. Like
I'm just being silly. I'm not making fun.
The thing is, like, laughing and like,
oh, that's true.
Making exclamations is still plenty loud. So yeah. But but it is fantastic when you're playing games in a huge convention like that, where it's super loud because there's so many people all playing games at tables around you, and it's impossible to play like a story game or something like that if you're hearing, right? You just can't make yourselves heard well enough. But with a deaf group, you're fine. It's great.
That makes sense. You don't have to be like, what'd you say?
Yeah. So some of the games that we played. Oh yeah.
I just thought about this. You don't ever have to get on people that they're on their phone. right? Because they have to stare at you to know what you're saying.
Yeah. So if they're on your phone, it's even worse. You're like, look at me. It's even worse when they're on their phone.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I figured they would.
Everyone's on their phone all the time. Doesn't matter if you're hearing or deaf. That's just modern life.
All right, fair enough. Never
it's
mind.
pretty annoying.
that is way annoying. Ah, man.
Yeah. But no.
I would just reiterate that on Amazon they sell this little box. It's a jail that you put people's phones in, and then at the end of the night they get them back.
That's an interesting, concept.
I also think it'd be fun to play games with hip hop artists too. There'd be a lot of laughs. I think. I want to do that now.
I don't know how we got onto the hip hop, but you should do that. And report
I'll call
back.
up all my hip hop artist friends.
Yeah,
we'll make it happen. Anyway, continue, George. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. So, we were there for BGG Con. Thanks again so much to BGG. They were incredibly kind enough to put me up, and we played some of the new games, some of the new hot Essen games that were there. One of them was Fate of the Fellowship, the pandemic like Lord of the Rings game, and it was pandemic like it was good, but it didn't really grab me. Like, it was fine, but I don't get the hype for it really. I don't know. Maybe I'm starting to change in like really complicated co-ops. I'm just or lengthy co-ops. I'm not as interested in anymore. So I think I'm starting to change a little bit, because normally that would be one that I would be all over. I'd be all about it, and I had a good time, but I wasn't blown away by it. I'm not going to pick it up. So I think I'm starting to change with that stuff.
Do not play it async on BGA. That's all I got to say. It's terrible.
65 years later.
Yeah, it's awful. And
yeah, I mean, it's a bit long of a game. Yeah, I felt. But okay, so we played that one, and we played a game called Last Lantern. Speaking of co-op games, Last Lantern is a game where you get these tile pieces, kind of Tetris style, and you have to work your way across the board. But you're working together, and you get a number of these tile pieces based on the player count, and then you simultaneously select who's taking which piece, and you do it by dialing it in, and then you reveal at the same time. You're trying not to both go for the same piece, right? And so you have to look at everyone's position on the board and say, okay, which one would be best for them? Do they understand the problem with taking that one? Like, there's certain lines that if your tile pieces cross, then things get worse for you, or sometimes better. It's an interesting, really fun game. Last Lantern, I enjoyed it. And quick. It's a quick, simple co-op. Then we played Formaggio, which is, as far as I could tell, basically identical to the first one called Fromage, except the 4 quadrants that you play have different ways of scoring. And I think they were a bit more interesting, actually. So there was one where you have boats that you have to claim cities and place boats around them, and the number of boats around the city is how you score it.
Would those be gondolas, or
they would be gondolas?
Yeah, okay. Italy.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. And here's what really disappointed me, though. That apparently they don't have sheep in Italy. I don't think that's true, but they're not in the game. Like, they were sheep before, and now there's no sheep. It's just goats and cows. Anyway, I don't understand. But you have the same thing where you can use the animals to get extra cheeses, and you can build buildings, and the buildings do all different things. So it's all good stuff. The way that you score the various things. Just having more variety there and having a little bit more complexity there, I think, is a good thing. Really like Formaggio.
Yeah, it's a standalone expansion, so you can mix it in supposedly with Fromage.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
But yeah, and according to Google AI, it says yes, Italy has many sheep with a rich history of sheep farming.
No, I imagine they would, but why don't they put it in the game? It was in the game before. What's anyway.
Maybe it's about different cheeses.
But they kept the goats and they kept the cows.
Yeah, that's where you get milk from for cheese, right? You don't get milk from sheep.
Is it sheep cheese?
Of course there is. Why were they in Fromage then?
Is there sheep cheese?
Am I making that up? I'm sure there were sheep in Fromage.
There's many type of sheep. Oh, in the actual game Fromage? I don't know.
Yeah. He's going to check. Okay. Well, anyway, you let me know.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah. All right. Other games that were played.
I like how James is actually opening the game. Anyway, keep going, George. Sorry.
We played a game called Artistry, and Artistry has some beautiful artwork. It's essentially an abstract game where you get these cards that let you take tiles off of a grid in various configurations. So the more you have, the more options you have for taking tiles. And then you use those tiles to fulfill contracts to get more cards. It is really quick, really fun, very teachable, and gorgeous. I really like that one, Artistry. We played The Great Gatsby, which is a game of tracks. You just go up all these tracks, and they let you do things that you go up further on other tracks. But the way that you do it is by selecting cards. And I really enjoyed this part of it. You get a hand of cards, and it's an I Split You Choose game, which I normally dislike and usually dislike them very much.
Really quick.
Yeah, but this one does it in a really clever way where everyone gets their cards at the same time, and you split into two piles. Everybody does. And then you take the split piles and you pass them. Everyone passes. And so you get a thing of cards, and there's a divider in between the two sets of cards when you open it up, and you look at it and you choose one and you keep it. And then you pass it back. And the person you've passed yours to does the same thing. So when they pass your cards back to you, the ones that they didn't take, that's the second half of what you end up with. So you take the ones you take, and then you get one of the two back.
That kind of sounds like there's a game called Rome in a Day.
Yeah. Same idea?
Same idea, yeah.
Okay. I think it's a brilliant way to do it. And it made the game really quick and fun. I liked it. Great Gatsby.
Yeah, it's on BGA. I like it a lot. I own it, but I haven't played my copy.
Yeah, well, in person, it's really nice to have that method. There we go. Sheep.
The sheep. There's a sheep. It was replaced by a bull, which
what's the point?
Cheese from a bull.
How are you getting cheese from a bull?
Not the kind
That's
I
some
want.
bull cheese.
Yeah, that's some bull. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, I don't understand that, but I still am gonna play the game.
Yes, Fromage is a great game.
Yeah. Okay. So another Essen game that we played that I particularly enjoyed is called Zoology, and this is a game where you have cards with animals on them, and you place them so that you can't see the animal that you have. Right? Everyone else can see the animal. It's facing away from you, and then you have a board that has all the animals in the game in a grid on the board. And you have a deck of cards, and you have a hand of cards, and you select one, and it'll be a question or a statement about that animal. And so you might have one that says, this animal has the longest tail, or something like that. And you place it out there, and the other players who can see your card, but who can't see their own, they all have to decide which animal has the longest tail out of the ones they can see. So you're getting information about your animal based on the answers to questions as the game goes on. You're like, okay, well, mine doesn't have the longest tail, so I can see these animals out there, and mine doesn't have a longer tail than those, right? Or it could be weird questions like, if you were deserted on an island, what animal would you most want to have with you out of all the animals?
Oh, that's fun.
It's all these. It's these just fun. It's just fun stuff, and you're supposed to try to figure out what your animal is, and you get these. After you play a question card, you get a magnifying glass token. At any time, you can slam down your magnifying glass token on one of the animals in the grid and say, "Am I a sheep?" or "Am I a whatever you put it on?" And if you're wrong, well, you just lost your magnifying glass token, and Do
you have a sheet of like a list of animals that are in the game, I guess?
They're all pictured in this grid out in front of you.
Oh, the grid. Okay.
Where you put the magnifying glass.
Spycraft or whatever, or Spyfest.
Yeah, in a sense. And if you put it on the right animal and you say, am I a sheep? And you are a sheep, and you figure it out first, then you get points if you're playing the competitive game. And then other people get one more chance to guess their animal, and they get fewer points. But you can also play it cooperatively, where you're trying to help everybody figure out their animals before you run out collectively of these magnifying glasses. I just think it's a really fun, nice game. Zoology. I can't wait for it to come to the States.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
And then give a shout out to these kind of games for conventions and for playing with the group that we had such a great time with games like Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, and Salem 1692. Where you're trying to figure out who's a witch, right? Yeah. And Hollywood 1947, where you're trying to figure out who's a communist and who's a
haven't played that
patriot. One. Oh my gosh, they're so fun. These social deduction games, I had forgotten how much I love these games. Like, it was great to play this whole slew of them. I maybe have a couple minutes left.
Go ahead, yeah.
Because I don't want to go on and on, but I have to also say that it's been so good to play games at Capstone Games, and I get to play a bunch of prototypes there. And some of the prototypes that I played, I cannot wait for these games. And I
did you have to sign an NDA, or are you allowed, or are you allowed to talk?
I didn't. I'm allowed to talk. Right. That's my understanding. Actually, the first one I'm going to mention is my favorite card game. That's a trick taker game right now, and this is not a prototype, but there's only like 400 in the world, so hard to find. But it's called Chasing Shadows, and it's the most clever trick taking game where you feel like, okay, I can actually do a thing. The play that I make matters. I can plan ahead to try to force you to do stuff, and it's so good. Chasing Shadows as a trick taker is by the same person who made Torchlit, which is really interesting trick taker as well. This one is better. It's amazing. Chasing Shadows. And then the other two that are big games, one is by Pickle, I think is the last name. Anyway, and I think, what did he do? Shoot, hang on. Anyway, it's called Michael Pickle, and he's is
this a prototype you're getting ready to talk about?
Yeah, but okay. He did Forestry, and Forestry, remember, was one that I liked, that is a heavy game that I really enjoyed. Well, this is another one this is a prototype, and it's called Prague Unseen, and it's kind of this crazy theme where you have these 4 factions in Prague, and they're fantasy creatures like Volodniks, which are kind of like imps, maybe. Anyway, and robots for some reason. There's also a faction of robots, and there's witches. Anyway, there's all these different things, and you're using your workers to go to different parts of Prague, and each section of Prague has a mini game that you play, and the result of the mini game, you can get these cards to rebuild Prague, and you build these storefronts in Prague, and then people can go to the storefronts and they give you abilities as well, and the whole thing, it just is so smooth and interlaced and interactive. Oh my goodness, Prague Unseen, fantastic! I cannot wait for that one. And the last one, I could be entirely wrong about this one. Just played it. As far as who it's by, but I think, and if I'm wrong, I apologize to everyone involved, but it's a game about birds called The Weavers, and I believe it's by the people who did Wormspan. If I'm wrong, sorry. But anyway, it is one where you are putting out birds to do things and collecting birds in different ways, but you can collect other people's birds. And so you put out other people's birds, and whether you put out your bird or somebody else's bird to do a thing, you get different things depending on what you do. And that's such a clever mechanism. And you're building up your nest as a weaver bird. There's lots and lots of different scoring opportunities, but it's like a medium weight Euro, and it's one of the best I've come across. I cannot wait for that one as well.
But did you say a name on that or no?
The Weavers, I believe. But,
the Weavers.
That could change. It's a prototype.
It could.
None of this could be true, except I played a game about birds that was great.
It was all a fever dream.
In the end, everything changes.
Yeah. I'm very certain that Prague Unseen is going to be called Prague Unseen.
Yes, it's on BGG.
Okay. The other one I can't find anywhere. I'm pretty sure I didn't dream it. And the last thing I'll mention is a game that I just got from Taiwan that is called Genius Idea, and it's one of these games where you have a grid of cards and you have to guess which card is the one that's the answer. But the way that you do that is you get 10 cards, and they all have different nouns on them, right? Or it doesn't have to be nouns; it could be adjectives. And so you get a hand of 10 cards, and you select 5 of those cards to be clues for a 6th card. So you don't have any control over what you got in your hand. But now you have to make 5 of those cards point to one of those cards if you can. And if you can't, well, they're just bad clues. and so you hand that off to another player. And that player is the one who's going to be deciding which of those clues to put out in what order so that people can guess what the word is. But they're called the disruptor. They don't want people to guess. So they're trying to figure out what the worst clues are and put them out in the worst order to disrupt the people from doing it, which is just so funny. The game is really good. It's just a great party game. Genius idea. It kind of is a genius idea. And those are the games I've been into lately.
Well, fair enough. I'll run through mine real quick and then we can jump into our topics. I won't go over every game I've played since because I've played a lot of games that I've played before and maybe even discuss them, but I'll mention some that are kind of new to me. Number 1 is Mountain Goats. I've always seen this and just passed it up. And then as I'm starting to play it, I'm like, this is kind of Can't Stop inspired, but it is totally different. I mean, I wouldn't say it's
all
totally
play one.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually liked it quite a bit. I was surprised by that. I mean, it's like a Can't Stop game where it's all luck rather than push your luck. Cause you just roll dice and you pair them up, or you can spend them single to move a goat up on a track. And when you get to the top, you move them again, you bounce and grab these tiles. Have you played this, George?
No, but I wanted to.
You should. I think you would really enjoy it. But yeah, you when you're at the top, say you're at the top of the 7 track and you roll a 7 again or enough dice to make 7, you'll bounce and you'll take a token. But if somebody comes and gets in the very last spot of 7, like where you are, you get knocked down to the bottom of the mountain. Your goat has to climb back up the 7 track again.
That's
and
good.
Then whenever so many of the columns are depleted, the game ends or whatever. But it rewards you for also getting one of the tiles from every track as well. You get like a bonus token that gives you extra points. So it's like Can't Stop, but at the same time you're scoring points rather than pressing your luck and trying to complete 3 of the rows or columns. Okay. Really, really good. I looked at it and just kept passing it up for years, and now I played it. I'm like, man, all right.
Yeah, Crystal loves that game. She tries to introduce it to everybody.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
It's a fun game.
It's a good one. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get my own copy and play it with my kids. We played some other games specifically to get rid of things or to sell it or whatever or donate it. Or,
to decide if you wanted to cull it out of your collection.
Yeah, we played a lot of games that were in the coal shelf. We have a whole shelf that's for this. One is Voltage. It's a very pretty game. It is awful. I'm sorry. It is just crap. You're just playing have you played this? You're playing cards to like one of the 4 columns. It kind of feels like you're playing, or at least the setup is like you're playing Lost Cities or whatever it is. So you're playing cards on your side of the board. The opponent's playing on their side. Whenever one of the kind of columns has 5 cards, no matter whose side it's on, there's a token in between them that will flip positive to negative, and it's whoever has the most points or less points. And some of the cards that you're drawing will cause those tokens to flip. So you might get set up and then all of a sudden they flip it and they put a 1 out and they win that. And it's just really, it's crap. It is. I don't understand how anybody plays this and thinks, oh yeah, this is finished. But I will say it is a very pretty game. It's cool looking. It has chunky components for those voltage things or whatever they're called, the positive and negative tokens. But yeah, that one's gone. We played Zombie Mania. I got this for free. It's a Reiner Knizia game by, I think, Trick or Treat Studios or whatever it is. It's very zombie dice-like.
Oh.
Except it's zombie dice with 10,000 components. It really does have like 10 dice, and then everybody has these 20 chunky like dice material zombies on their board or whatever. Maybe it's 13, I think. And you're trying to get rid of your zombies out of your board. But it's very Munchkin style because it gets down to like, okay, well, you can roll a certain dice that will allow you to get rid of your guys, or zombies, but you can give them to a player instead. So you just start loading up the person who just almost got ready to clear their board, and now.
Oh no!
So it's one of those games where like you can get really lucky on dice rolls and end it real fast, or everyone's going to pile up on you.
Yeah, so it's never ending in a sense. It could be.
It will end because just the nature of the dice and how things work. it has to end. But if you're the first to kind of go low on zombies, you're probably not going to win, is what I mean by the Munchkin effect. You know, it's like, I'm getting ready to level up and everybody plays all their cards on you. And now it's whoever is the second person who would have won is the actual winner.
Okay. Yeah.
Thankfully, I got that for free. It's really fun with kids, though, I will say. So I might even keep it around because it's just silly.
Yeah. As simple as Zombie Dice is, it's also...
right.
Not a bad
I don't
game
think
at all,
Zombie
actually.
Dice is winning any awards, or at least maybe for sales, but it's in the same vein.
Yeah.
I won't speak too much about Boom Patrol by Smirk and Dagger because we will talk about that one in a very upcoming episode. But spoiler alert, it is really fun.
Oh.
I like miniature games, like where you're moving things around and measuring things with rulers. And this is like you got a tank and you're moving the tank around, smashing buildings, getting power ups, shooting each other. It's really silly. Played Viva Katrina. Have you all played this? It's a little tile drafting game.
Never heard of it.
I don't think I've heard of that either.
Oh my gosh. We played it. It was really fun. And then I realized it's on VGA. So I will invite you to a game, James.
Okay.
Essentially, you're just drafting tiles, like Carcassonne type of tiles, and you're placing them in a grid in front of you, and there's different scoring mechanisms. Like there's these balloons, and if you get so many of them of a certain color, you get to take these tiles. There's also butterfly paths that have butterflies, and you can draft these tiles that will give you extra scoring stuff. It is a very simple game, but it is really good. One of the quick catches of it is there's two like rows of tiles. And then on your turn, you can pick the left or right of either row. So you get 4 options at all turns. And so you're like, well, if I take this now, George will have access to this tile and I know he needs it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll hate draft something that won't be as good for you just to not free up that other tile.
Okay. I'm looking at it now and yeah, it's a brand new game and it's really pretty because it has that Dia de los Muertos style
Yeah, like
art.
Day of the Dead art.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yep, check that one out. We have started our campaign of My City. Yeah, have you done it? Nope. Yep. James?
A lot on BGA, but in real life, we only got halfway. Crystal lost interest.
Fair enough. All right, well, we'll see what happens. We made it through. We're in the second envelope, and it's changed a little bit. I'm keeping my expectations a little lower. I don't think it's going to get crazy complicated like a lot of legacy games or anything, but I got it really cheap and I'm looking forward to actually finishing a legacy game with the same group. So this will be fun. I only got 2 more I'm going to mention. One, oh my gosh, we will eventually do a topic and dedicate a lot of time to this one, raising robots.
Hey, I played that too at BGG.
Oh my God.
Forgot to mention it.
Dude, did you like it?
Yes.
Oh, we are talking about it. James, buy it, play it.
Okay.
It erases the Wingspan series of games for me. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I won't say that, but it's still really good.
If I had to pick one of those style games to pick, this is the one I would pick. It chimes a lot more with me than the other games, and it is similar enough.
And it's an engine builder or something?
Yes, but it's much more procedural, where you do certain things in certain steps. It's good.
And everybody's basically playing at the same time.
Yes, that is huge.
You choose these like energy tokens, like 2 of them flip out of your deck, and you basically you take these action cards from your hand and you associate them with them face down. Everybody's doing this, and then everybody reveals. And then depending on what you reveal, you'll put these energy cubes out on this board, which has all the 5 or 6 actions. And so the more energy that gets added onto an action, say you're going to do the green action, then your card that you put face down on the on that energy tile might say 4, but then you get +1 for all the other energy that other players have generated onto that color. And so green is really powerful this turn. So if you didn't pick green, you don't have a lot of energy to spend it with. And energy is like to play cards or to activate abilities or that are printed on your board and stuff. It is crazy good.
It's so good. And that is, it's a very slight kind of mitigation for the issue that Wingspan kind of has, and this one has to a certain degree too, which is where it is an engine builder. And if somebody builds an incredible engine, they're just going to run it for points, right? They're going to keep doing that thing. If you let somebody get all the crows in Wingspan, like you've lost. So, that kind of thing. But this thing with the energy does kind of put the brakes on that to a certain degree.
Yeah, because you might have a really cool blue action, or I forget the colors because it's been a few weeks now. But you might have a really cool blue action, but then everybody on the board is playing like the orange action and the yellow action, and you're like, man, I can't get this to kick off. So you do have to kind of go with the flow to some degree.
Yeah,
really, really
so
fun.
good, so good.
Yeah, it is really, really good. Last game I'm going to talk about is for my birthday, which was at the end of November. We played my favorite game, and that's Akion. It's always a blast to get that on the table, and we've gotten it down to where it's not an hour per player. It's like 40 minutes. It's a long game, but it's a really, really good.
Yeah.
We've talked about that on a previous episode if you want to see us talk about it in depth. But, man, it has all kinds of really cool stuff to it. James, I don't think you've played that, have you?
No.
Oh, man. All right, we're going to have you down. We're going to play it. It's got some Terra Mystica to it where you got a player board. And as you build these machines onto the main board, it unlocks the different, you have the actions on your board, and it makes them stronger because when you activate that action, you get whatever symbols are appearing in that row. So as you get machines out onto the board, it makes them stronger. And then you're moving around on these intersections of all these different areas. But what's the real quick thing, I don't want to talk too much about it. Each area of the map, each region can only hold 3 machines. You can only have 3 machines by 3 different players. So only one player, or a player can only have 1 machine in an area. On top of that, there's 3 different types of machines, and each region can only have 1 of each type. And when you play the machine, if it's you pay for it, and then you get multiplied by the same machine type in all the adjacent regions. So it has this, like, I guess Clans of Caledonia-esque like scoring method to it, where you want to build next to players who's built those types of things.
Right.
So you're really fighting over areas and such. And on top of that, there's this big colossus moving around the edge of the map on these craters, and you get to run up and you can steal it has a really cool draw from a bag type of thing. There's these crystals that are lodged into its base. And then on the tip of it is a number. So you pluck out a crystal, and you get to keep it, but it tells you how many points it's worth and stuff. And then, but it's also a threat because it's running around putting all these parasites. And if there's too many parasites in a region, they blow up all the machines there. So like the players that are in that region have to kind of co-op a little bit. Like, look, I don't really care about mine, but I'll take them out, stuff like that. Really, really awesome game.
It is a great game. Just really quickly, for anyone who's looking for this, it's spelled Icaion.
Which I'm assuming is a Kion, and that's how I pronounced it for years. I have zero idea if I pronounced it correctly.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe it's Akayan.
Yeah, Icaion. Anyway, you can find it that way.
But other than that, just been doing family stuff. So board game related, that's what I've been playing. And then we just started playing Goat Simulator on PS5, and it's ridiculous. I had no expectations for this. But I figured it had to be good because we're playing Goat Simulator 3. They gave it away for free on PlayStation Plus, who knows how long back. And so we were looking for a game to play with the kids. It is absolutely just nuts. It is so funny.
Do you know there's a Goat Simulator card game that's coming in 2026?
Is it really? Oh,
yeah, it's a Goat Simulator party card game 2026.
This has to be like a Exploding Kittens type of game.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
I don't have any faith that it's going to be something super unique. but maybe.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to talk about the games that we have selected for our in-depth discussion here. And the first one we have up is George, if you're ready.
All right, yeah.
All right, take it away.
The game that I am going to talk about is another Essen release that I picked up at BGG-Con, and this game is called Wispwood. One word, Wispwood. This is a game in which the theme is, it's really funny. Your cat has been lured out into the woods by these mystic lights. So these wisps have lured your cat away. And there's no real reason for the theme. It's just a nice picture of a cat to put on the box. and also in the game they have some nice some little cats that you can have as your token. The art's nice, but the game really is a game in which you're going to be creating a grid of tiles. And so you have the forest, and on one side of all the tiles are trees, and on the other side are different kinds of wisps. So in the game, you have this central board in which you're going to put 8 wisps, and next to each of them, so in between each of them, there's a shape that's a polyomino shape that you will create using those tree pieces plus the wisp that you take. And so you get to create the shape by putting it together in that configuration, and then you slot it into the grid of tiles that you're making. And you're trying to follow various scoring rubrics on these various cards. They'll tell you, how you score in various ways, and that changes each game because there's 5 of each. So you randomly determine how pumpkins score, how hats wisps score, how orb wisps score, how heart wisps score, and then also how trees in your forest score. And so as you're going along, you're creating this grid. But what's really interesting about it is your grid is going to be 4x4 in the first round, and then all the pieces that are trees get removed, but all the wisps stay where they are. And in the second round, you're going to have a 5x5 grid. So you can determine like which way you're shifting to make your grid bigger, basically. And that will constrain how you can fit these pieces in, because you've already got pieces on the board now, and you have to get these Tetris pieces to fit in. So that's really interesting. And the third round, it's going to be the same, but 6x6. And then your cat piece, when you flip it over, it looks like it's hiding behind a tree. So when your cat goes into hiding, you can take a tile piece off of the board, and instead of taking one of the shapes that are next to it, you can take any shape you want. And if you can't fit any of the shapes into your board, or if you just want to, instead of taking a wisp and making that shape, you can simply take 1, 2, or 3 tree pieces, which is how you can fill in gaps. And if you just take trees, then you get to flip your cat back over, and now your cat has the ability so that you can take any shape again. But the other ability that the cat gives you is you could flip your cat, and he hides behind a tree, in order to clear the board of all the wisps that are on it, and then reseed the board with 8 new wisps. And the other time that happens, that the wisps change, is if there's ever just one kind of wisp on the board, then you can wipe them out and put 8 new ones out. So it's sort of an interesting decision whether you take a certain kind of wisp. Maybe you want it to score in a certain way, but are you going to let the next person have the option to just get all different new kind of wisps that could really help them out? It's really a quick game. It's really thinky though, and in the different ways that it scores. And it's kind of gorgeous. There's a person who took pictures of playing the game under black light, glow lights, and it really is kind of cool. And even if you're not doing that, the game is really pretty, I think. And it's very light, and it's very teachable, and really a lot of fun. Wispwood.
Immediately, so you showed a picture of the box cover, and it had Cranio Creations.
Oh, I probably should have said.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We'll say it in just a second, because I saw that and I said, really? This looks like a CGE game.
And it is.
And it is. And it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, it is. It's a CGE game, and the designer is Reed Ambrose, and the artist is Stefan Drazfak.
Fair enough.
Wait, what? What'd you just say?
I could have said that entirely wrong, but that's what I'm going with.
That's not what it looks like to me, but we're going to move.
Yeah.
Very nice art.
It really is. Yeah.
I will say two things that I have not played this. Obviously, the art is a little dark for me. It makes sense for the theme, but it's weird that I kind of I see the dark like games like this, and I'm just not. It doesn't grab me an end, but this one looks really nice. I like that.
Okay.
It focuses it on all the really bright wisps rather than just that dark art. So that's nice. And the other thing is, I'm really excited by this because we've talked about it before, but the scoring mechanism is amazing. I love games with this, like that Cartographers or the Timber Towns, where they have
Cartographers. That is exactly what it's like.
Right. You have all these different scoring things for different colors, but then each card has multiple versions that you shuffle at the beginning. And so every time you play the game, even if there's 5 and there's only 2 copies of each, I don't know how many there are, but even if there were only 2 copies of that, that's a tremendous amount of replayability right there.
Yeah, there's 5 of each, I believe. And you can get a promo pack that gives you 1 more. And the promo pack also just gives you a whole bunch of different pictures of the cats, different kinds of cats. So yeah, they're really cute.
That's fun. So
it's nice. Really nice
I like
game.
this. I think it looks pretty nice and
it doesn't look
accessible.
It doesn't look, dark in the sense of grim to me. It's the feeling.
I just meant like dark as in like a lot of black.
Yeah, it does have a lot of black. It's your cat's out at night chasing will-o-wisps. But what I really like about the art as well is they could have just used the same art for each of the heart wisps or each of the pumpkin wisps, but they didn't. They made them different, just subtly different. And even the orbs are subtly different, and they're cool.
And I think that works. I don't know about a lot of people, but for me, when I visualize things real quick, when I look down, this is a problem I have with Timber Town. Not that the games are similar at all, but in Timber Town, you look down and I see colors, right? And so when I look at this, I see pink, 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 pink. Even though the art's different on all of them, it's very similar, and it's similar enough in color. It's not like hard to tell the difference between them. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice. I can imagine this being a crazy deluxe version where they have like translucent ink, and like you could actually play it with a black light to where it would cause it to glow. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. It kind of does already. The person who took pictures like that, it really already kind of glows. It is cool.
That's fun.
So, yeah.
All right. Well,
that's
James,
Wispwood.
any comments? You good?
It looks like a George game.
It absolutely is. I love it.
I'm not a big Cartographers fan, so
what?
You don't like the have different ways to score each time you play the game?
Usually.
How do you feel about Cascadia?
Love that game.
Huh.
I thought I was going to say this game's just like it.
No, yeah, that's what I thought.
But you have different ways of scoring. You have cards that give you different ways of scoring.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
That's fair.
But I was just sitting here wondering if George is like part of a Discord or BGG geek list that lists all these different games that he comes up with. I've never heard of this.
I did not come up with this game.
This one's pretty well known. I will say that.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
This is a pretty big game.
I've been looking forward to this one for so long. All I had was the cover for the longest time, if you guys recall, and I'm so glad that it's a game that I enjoy.
Was it the Gen Con list or?
Yeah, it was like ages ago, but I
thought it looked familiar.
It's a great game.
Yeah, it's not bad looking.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to trying it out. So thanks for going over Wispwood. And then next up on our podcast is George.
Is it?
James. It's almost midnight.
Okay. My game is 2025's Toy Battle. Now, it does sound like it's a play school game. I know by the title, but it's not, even though it does say 8+. But it is designed by Paolo Mori and Alessandro Zucchini, and it's published by Repos Production. This game, it's a 1v1. It's a 2-player game. You're battling each other across the board, and you're using troops on tiles to fight and go across. You're trying to connect your HQ to their HQ and take over their HQ through bases, and using your troops to do that. And the 2 players have 24 troops apiece, the exact same tiles. You're either a blue player or the red player, which to Crystal's chagrin, she doesn't like either one of those colors. So, and the troops go from 1 to 7 in power, and each troop has a different power on them. Like it allows you, if you when you place it, you can draw 2 more troop tiles to your rack, or you can or you can kill other people's troops on the board or off their rack. And there's one troop that's a duck. It's a rubber duck. Obviously, these are toys. So you got the army woman, the little monkey, pirate monkey, robot, wind-up robot, a skeleton, and a rubber duck. A rubber duck is a wild one. And
they're really cute. They're
right.
For toys, they're cute. I'm not sure. I don't know. Well, I won't say it. Go ahead.
So this will be a mean game, George. So it's each person has 24 tiles, and everybody has the exact same troops. The difference is when you set up the game, you're mixing them up and just randomly taking 4 out, so you don't know which 4 are coming out. And there's like 3 copies of each troop, because there's 8 troops, unique troops, and 24 has 3 each. So you don't know what's coming out and you don't look at what you discarded of the 4. So you don't know exactly what you have. So you randomly take tiles, and on your turn, you either place a troop or draw 2 troops from your pile that you have. And that's pretty much it. And the placement rules are it has to connect to a line from your HQ so you can't do a base just random place. It has to be connected in a line with your troops to your HQ, back to your HQ.
Okay.
And you can place tiles on top of your own, no matter the number. But if you place it on top of a opponent, it has to be higher than what they have. So like the skeleton is a 1, you can place a army woman that's a 2 and take over that spot. And that's pretty much it. You're just battling it, and you're using those powers and trying to fight the other player. And there's 3 ways to end the game. So this is the board with what you're looking at. So what you're doing is it shows here, you're placing your troops along a line, trying to get to the other person's HQ, and they're trying to stop you, and vice versa. So you can place on top of each other, and the pile can get on one base, could just go as high as you want as you keep going back and forth. The highest number you can go is 7, but the rubber duck can override that because it's wild, but anything can go on top of a rubber duck. And there's also special bases which give you powers depending on the boards. There are 4 boards in the box, and they're double-sided. So you have 8 maps you can play. And each map has a different number of stars, and I'll explain that in a second, or special bases. So 3 ways to end the game. One was, like I said, you connect your HQ and to the opponent's HQ, more or less capture the flag or base. The other one is area control. There's stars on the board that you place, when you surround the stars with just your troops, you pull those stars off and put them on a track. Each board has a certain number, like 7, 8 to get. If you get that number, you win automatically. So if you get 8 stars on a board that says you need 8 stars, when you get that 8th star, you win too. You don't have to connect to the HQ. The third way is if somebody can't go on their turn, either draw tile or place a tile, the game ends, and whoever has the most stars wins. So, and I've ended the game. The game has ended on me all 3 ways, and so there's not one over the other. And I've played this with Capcom is where I played it in real life. I played it on BGA, and I played it in Seattle, and with Crystal. So it gets played a lot for me. That is the game, pretty much in a nutshell. And my opinion of it is a great game. It's 15 minutes long at most, maybe around the average, I guess, average time. It's lasted a lot less than that, maybe a few minutes. One time I wasn't paying attention and playing against our friend Jason Tim, and he just immediately went into my HQ. I wasn't paying attention, and next thing he's beat me. But it's a fast game. It's a nice setup. I mean, quickly start over and play multiple times in a play session. But I highly recommend it. It's very fun. It was hard to find back in September when I was at Capcom, so I didn't get it. But when I went to Seattle, it was at Mock's boarding house, I think is what that's called. And I picked it up there, and it's just so much fun. It's like I said, it's a quick.
You know what it reminds me of is the little apps on the phone where you're fighting lanes, like not Clash of Clans, but they make another game
like a tower defense.
kind of like a tower defense. No, there's another game. There's a World of Warcraft one called like World of Warcraft Warcraft Rumble. And then Clash of Clans makes another one called like Clash Kings or something. I mean, I can't remember the name of it, but basically you have 2 lanes and you're like summoning guys and they're walking from either the left column or right column and they're kind of going up, and it's not tower defense, but it kind of,
a MOBA, like a MOBA,
almost like a MOBA to some degree, but similar, but not.
I mean, in this picture, that's an illegal move because there's no, well, unless I guess we're missing this base down here. Because
I was gonna say, isn't this looks like a professional picture? But
yeah,
I
that
hope it's
person
not
did a
that
good
bad.
job. That might be that's from an Asmodee person,
publisher. Yeah.
So yeah, it's I mean, it's just fun, fast, light little game. If you're looking for a battle game, see that guy's even having a lot of fun.
I've heard really good things. I've heard it's really.
I mean,
good.
I highly recommend it.
Here.
It's not that I don't think it was that expensive. And
it's deceptive too, because you look at it and you think, oh, this is a kid's game, but it really isn't. I mean, it's just it has a fun theme, like a kid theme with those toys and stuff, but it's very kind of strategic.
And it's cutthroat because I mean, like you can kill people's tiles off the board or off the rack. So you're like, oh, I'm about to kill them, and next they play something that takes something off your rack and takes your 7 strength dinosaur. You're like,
which is nice in a 2-player game. You know, it gets rough in like a 3 or 4-player game because, you know, you can pick on each other and things like that or gang up. But in this, it's like expected. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Oh, and it has lots of different maps there.
Yeah.
He said there's like 8 of them. There
are 4 maps and they're double-sided. So each map, there's 8 different
and there's 8 different toys. So they're home worlds for the different toys.
That could be right. I never thought of that.
That's neat.
Yeah, because there's a water one for the rubber duck.
For the
there's
duck,
a metal one for the robot.
Look at
there's
George.
Rainbow one for the unicorn.
It's
theme logic.
Wow. That's actually it's graveyard for the skeleton. Wow.
Perfect.
Wow. I'm kind of amazed by that.
I just changed your entire
this whole picture is everything in the game. I mean, the boxes store it, and you got a little cheat sheet that you can have out on the table, and it explains every troop and their powers.
How's the BGA implementation of this?
It's pretty good. I played it many times. I mean, we can fire up a game of this if you want to try it because it's pretty fun. Nice. I mean, it's async. It takes a little longer, obviously, but it's. I don't know if they have all 8 maps or not. I think they might. But,
well, it's still worth checking it out. But
I mean, obviously BGAs you can hover over the tile and it'll tell you what it does.
Yeah, so the cheat sheet's built in.
Right, and the 4-power monkey, he allows you to go anywhere. You don't have to follow the rules of the line.
He just kind of like flies out there like,
a flying
he's got a little
monkey
parachute. Yeah, he's got a little. There you go.
He should be a flying monkey from Oz.
Yeah, there's the picture of all the 8 maps.
Okay.
And now I'm blown away.
Have you found it to be where you win about the same number of times, like in the different ways? Like, do you usually win with stars? Do you usually win by actually making a line all the way, or?
It's pretty much even.
Okay.
Making a line is the hardest because, you know, you can cut people off. Like, you can break that line and they have to try to rebuild it because they can't keep going with the second half of the line that you orphaned from the original line.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So, I mean, if you're paying attention, you can break it off. The only problem is, you can see somebody doing a line and you don't have the tiles to beat them. So there is luck to it by the draw of the tiles.
Mm-hmm.
But there's ways to mitigate that, on especially the powers of the board itself.
It seems like you don't really just go for one of the strategies, you pivot, and then eventually one of them wins you.
Right. I had to, I was trying to do the line, then I pivoted and got stars, and I ended up winning that.
Nice. Yeah, it looks really fun. I've been really wanting to play it. I saw it on, I guess, because it hasn't been on BGA very long, from what I remember, or at least seen it be highlighted or something. It
might have been spring.
Yeah.
It's this year, obviously, but I mean, this one, spoiler, it might show up on top 10 2025. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Just because it's accessible and it's just fun, fast.
Seems like a lot of content and replayability in one small box for 2 players.
Right, because every game is going to be different because of because you have to discard 4 of them, so you don't know what you have and what you're drawing. with my friend in Seattle, we ended up doing the running out of tiles because I was like, that's never happened, and we did it at least 2 or 3 times.
Oh, wow.
So, because he liked to pile, I mean, we had these big stacks of troops fighting each other. So, and then
different play styles.
He always, if he had a monkey on the first turn, he'd always play that right next to my base.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Final thoughts?
Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely probably 9 out of 10 for me. It's a great game.
Jason Levine, what's up?
Yeah, there you go. Jason Levine playing at Dice Tower East, West, according to the picture. So yeah, it's a very fun game. I mean, everything, like I said, even the racks there, it comes with the game. The little wooden racks that you put the tiles on.
Oh, nice.
So
Scrabble battle.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I recommend if you can get it. The board game gave me the board game store gave me the, I don't know what you call it, the add-on but it's the little track for the stars. So it's a building. He doesn't have it in this picture, but I mean, normally you just, I guess, put the stars in front of you and count, but it's a lot easier. It's a little cardboard track, so you can see if you're going to win or not, how close you're to winning. But that's kind of nice. So if you could get a hold of that too, it's just like in a mini expansion, if you call it that, or a promo. I think
Almost
it's more
like
of a promo.
Extra playmat, basically.
No, well, yeah, but it's like a little
right. You're
cardboard.
stacking the stars in a line, and once it reaches the end,
right
you win.
in the middle, it has a little gold part. So if you put your star there, the star that you collect there, you win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend that. It's just nicer than trying to put it in a pile and try to figure out, look over every time, see if your opponent's got 7 or 8 stars.
Maybe they'll include it in the second printing.
Yeah, deluxe version. But yeah, this one is definitely open to expansions later on. I'd say expansion boards at least. But I guess we'd have to get a different character because I have to match the board, right, George?
That's right. You got to add more characters. Put in Stretch Armstrong.
Oh yeah,
some heroes.
do the Disney
He-Man.
version. Do some Woody and Buzz.
Yeah.
Toy Story battle.
There you go. I mean, perfect. We just gave them an idea. Maybe they can send us a promo or a review copy.
Yeah, I predicted this once with Dragon Span, so let's do it again.
Oh yeah,
that's true. You did. You called that one for sure.
But yeah, that is Toy Battle by Repos Productions.
I like how the in that picture the barbed wire was made out of a slinky. That was cool.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. All right, so for the final game that we have here is a game that I'm going to talk about, and that is, I hate to say older game because it was published in 2019, but this is Black Angel. And Black Angel, you guys see in my desktop? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Black Angel is a game that uses the dice mechanism from Troy, or George, if you will, please enlighten us how to pronounce it.
Trois.
Fair enough. Anyway, it is designed by Sebastian Dujardin, Xavier Georges, and Alan Orban, and the publisher is Pearl Games. This thing, I feel like this game made a big splash, but then went away, and like no one talks about it much anymore, and that's kind of a shame. But let me kind of give you a summary of the game first, and then I'll explain what I like about it. In Black Angel, you are playing, and I might botch this because I've read the story like once, and it's been like a month, maybe 2 months. But the story is humanity is dying, or like the Earth is dying, and so they put all these like cells or cryogenically freeze people or whatever, and then the AI from 4 different nations or something is getting on this Black Angel ship, traveling across the world to a new Earth, and then it's going to release the humans onto that planet. And as you're going through the space, the AI is doing all this stuff to protect the ship and such. So you're kind of working, you're not working together. It's a competitive game, but in theme, if the ship gets destroyed, everybody loses, right? Which is, I will spoil it and say that is not what happens in the actual game.
That can't happen.
But that would be cool if it happened.
So if you can see the picture here, I just want to say there's remarkably little black in that.
For a space game?
For a space game called Black Angel. There's very little black, actually.
But the Black Angel is the black miniature.
Okay.
Doom. Looks like
there's a lot of color. There's a lot of color in this board.
It is a very fun, bright game. But essentially, if you're not watching the video, you're listening to the podcast, each player has a player board in front of them. And then there's a main board out in the middle. And then to the right, well, technically it can be attached to the top of the main board to make it look neat, is the space board. And that's made of these 5 different chevrons of hexes. And as the Black Angel moves, you drop one of the back board of chevron, and then a new one comes out. So it's flying through space, essentially. And on your turn, you're basically going to choose either sequence A or sequence B. Sequence A is basically playing dice and doing actions. And eventually you'll have to do sequence B, which is refresh or kind of like a rest action. But when you do sequence B, the space board will move once. There's this little token that you have on the space board that's a little planet, and it starts off in the distance. And when it gets to the same chevron as like or it gets to the bottom, then you actually put the planet that you're looking for out on the spaceport. So it kind of gets bigger theme. Anyway, the main board is a enlarged version of the cockpit of the Black Angel ship. Each player is going to have dice that they roll. And then there's like a section of the board where you put your dice. So when you do sequence A, there's a few things that happen. Basically, you're going to get a die, either one of yours or in front of another player. If you pick another player, you have to pay them. And you'll place that on one of the 6 action spaces around the Black Angel cockpit on the main board, and you'll do what the action says. And then that's it. You're just going to be doing that over and over and over until enough times players do sequence B to get the planet to come out and then come onto the same space as the Black Angel, and then you've reached your destination, essentially. So a couple of things I'll point out real in depth. On your player board, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. 3 of the actions on the main board will move these little bitty ships that you get. You actually slot these little robots into a disc, and then you fly them away from the Black Angel on the space board, and you'll place out cards on the space board. And this will give you new action spaces that you can place dice on when you draft the dice. But then there also are cards that will go on the space board, and when they drop off, because you're flying through space and those boards move away, if they drop off, then they trigger and you get resources and stuff like that. Multiple people can get on those cards. So 3 of the action spaces are going to be moving around on the space board. When you're doing these things and putting cards out on that space board, you're going to generate basically these Ravengers. There's little Ravenger symbols on these hexes on the space board. And as you place a card out, you're going to put that many Ravengers onto the main board. And that's bad because what will happen is the Ravenger cards will go into a slot. When you flip out the card, it tells you where to put it in one of the 6 action spaces. So if it says 6, it's going to go in 6. And that's going to cause damage to that action space. And if there's enough damage to it, then when you go to take the action, it reduces the die value that you put out there. So the dice are basically like a star, 1, 2, or 3. So when you draft a die and you put it on a space, you're going to be doing it with that much power, essentially. And so if the space is damaged, it makes it weaker. If there's Ravenger cards there, they'll do stuff like, if you take this action, now you got to discard a resource, or now you got to lock up one of your little astronaut dudes, robots, or some other penalty. And so the reason I tell all this in detail is because 3 of the action spaces are moving around on the space board. 2 of the action spaces revolve around fixing the spaceship by removing the damage cubes, and also destroying the Ravengers, like killing them and getting stuff for doing so. So when you kill the Ravengers, you get their cards or whatever. When you kill or repair the ship, you get these red cubes. And the last action space is to get these technology tiles that are along the side of the board. So at the start of your turn, you have an optional phase where you can take a card. At the end of your turn, you actually draw a card of the color die that you pick. So everything in this game is color coordinated. If you play like a gray die, I don't know why they're called gray. They're actually blue look. But if you pick a gray die and you do the space action, you want to move around and land on a gray space. And then you put a gray card on that space. And at the end of your turn, you draw a gray card, right? It's that kind of stuff. And as you're getting technologies that are of the same colors, and then as you play a card face down at the start of your turn, you get to activate all the colors that match it in the column or row. So if you placed a green card down on the bottom and there's 3 tiles above it, only the green card would activate. But killing those Ravager cards gives you red cards, and those are wild, and they activate everything in the row or column. So you get these little combos going on. And there's also like in-game scoring technologies that you'll get, and then you load those up with cards, and it will be like, 2 points for every damage tile or damage cube that you've collected. And then you can maximize how many points you get from it by adding to that space for the in-game scoring. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the game. I know I'm kind of not talking about all the rules, but that's basically it. And a couple of things I will say I really like about it. One, I like the fact that the space board is constantly changing. So if somebody gets a really cool action out there, that card's going to drop off, except if you're near the end of the game. But sometimes you want it to drop off because you're going to put a card out there that says when it drops off, you get some stuff for it. But then you see that happen. And so like I put a card out there that when it drops off, you get some really cool stuff. And George is like, well, I want that too. And he flies a guy out and docks it onto that same card to get the benefit when it drops. Or maybe it's a card that has a really cool action. You'll go dock there so that you can take that action in the future.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And I like the fact that the Ravengers, you're building this space board that's kind of dynamic. The Ravengers come out and attack the place, and you need to take care of it because maybe you're really focusing on green cards, but now the green actions are really hurts. So you need to do something to clear those out. Man, there's just so much going on with this. It's really cool. And it's really neat to see the spaceships that you have and that you can slot the little guys into them. That's kind of satisfying. I don't know. Have you all played Troy?
I have not.
Just the dice version.
I really like the board game of it. And this uses the same mechanism. There's just a lot more going on in this one, and I tend to like it a lot more. I'm not going to say that the other one is fired, so to speak, that people would say, but if I had to pick one, this is the one I'm going with.
Something that I've heard is that the people who, and maybe this is why this one didn't have such a big splash, like the people who like Trois, this one doesn't. You're sort of the exception to that you like this one better. It usually doesn't take people away from that one. And in Trois, they can group their dice together, and in this one, you're taking a single die. Did you feel that that's not that big of a deal as far as a difference for you?
No, I mean, the game is mostly built around doing that, obviously. And I kind of forgot that's even what you do in Trois anyway. So I wouldn't say it's exactly the same as that game, but it is... It's similar in nature, but some things have been modified a little bit for this game. Like I can't remember. Like Trois is just numbers, right? 1 through 6.
Yeah, it's just dice.
Yeah.
Right.
What's cool in this one is there's actions that will allow you to flip dice. So if you roll in front of you, like this player has a 1 star and a 2, right? The 1's not very powerful, so no one's really going to come get that. The 2 is not. I mean, the 2 is okay. But the star is crap because it's basically nothing, but you can pay to actually flip it up on its head. And on top of that, you have a little compartment that you can lock it. So if you roll something really good, like you really want a 3 action that's a green and you happen to roll it, you can lock that die essentially so no one else can take it. But it is neat to be able to take other people's dice. You pay them for it. Okay. And I'll argue that maybe paying them for it isn't as expensive to some degree. I haven't played it enough times to know. But for instance, if you roll a bunch of 3s, George, on your turn, and then it's, we get to go, because that's your action, right? You're refreshing, you're rolling dice, and then it's somebody else's turn. Yeah, you got to lock one of those. You have 3 dice. Let's say you lock one. I take another one, and James takes the other one, because you rolled 3s. They're great. now on your turn, you take that 1-3 action. Now you're buying dice from other people, or you rest again. That can get kind of frustrating, I guess. It would be neat if you're paying them based on the value of the die. Maybe. Obviously, it's playtesting. I'm not trying to redesign the game, but I'm just feeling like when people buy my dice, I almost more am upset that they're buying them rather than what I'm getting for it.
You're right. Yeah, you want them yourself, yeah.
Right. So maybe that's a criticism. I think it obviously works out in the end. Not a big deal. If you play it with less players, there's a kind of a dummy player that sits out there and rolls dice, and then eventually their dice go away because you can increase your dice pool as you play the game. Yeah, other than that, like you said, the artwork's really cool. I like this vibrant art when it comes to space games, like cyberpunk type of thing, like that pinks and teals.
Is that supposed to represent hyperspace?
I think so, yeah. If you
look at Rosenbridge.
If you look at one of the pictures, you're supposed to put the board, if I know how to work a computer, you put the board, the space board in front of it. So like this is your cockpit, but in front of it, you're looking at the space as it comes by.
Okay, and I like that idea where you're moving those space chevrons to show the movement of your ship, and that's going to be changing as you go. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. And the spaceport has some asteroids that you can't move through and things like that. And so the placement of those cards that you put out there really matters, because like if you got a really cool action, you want to fly out there really fast into the front, so that when you place your card out there, it's going to stay out for many rounds. But if you get one of the cards that when it drops off, you want to put that all the way in the back so that when it'll drop off fast and no one else can run up and get second place on it. So
the game has a weight of 3.87, that's pretty hefty. I
don't know if I agree with that. I would say a 3. I don't know why it's jumping up close to a 4. It really is not that difficult of a game. It's very simple. It is really 6 action spaces, because all the action spaces that you build out on the space board are mostly like get a resource or spend something to get points. So those actions aren't really that complicated, or there are things that already happen on the 6 main action spaces. So you're only learning 6 action spaces. What's really complicated is the player board and all the different setting up combos, because as you get those tiles, you're pushing them in. So if you got a tile and you push it in here, obviously this, it pushes that row to the right and you'll drop tiles off. So it's a lot of, man, I don't want to put it in this column because now I'm going to mess up my 3 yellow column, or but you need to, because the end game scoring technologies, the black ones, you have to push them off your board so that they go over here on the right and you get the most scoring out of them. So you need to mess up your board in order to get those out of there. It's pretty cool. And then you can, like I said, as you spend and repair the ship and get those red cubes, you can place the red cubes on these to activate the ability that's on it. So if you put it on this tile, it's going to give you a resource, or it's going to give you a red cube. Maybe that's not what it does, because that sounds kind of weird. But if you put it on here, it gives you a victory point. You put it on here, it gives you a ship. But you can only put a cube on there once until you've done sequence B, and then you get to like clear off your board and everything.
But do you get those red cubes back that you use?
You don't. Oh. They stay there to lock it up to show that you only get to use them once between rest actions.
Well, then, yeah, you'd want another red cube to be able to use it somewhere else, I guess. No, that doesn't make sense, does it?
Right, yeah. I can't remember what that one exactly does. But because if you place it there and you get the red cube, then you're really kind of just doing nothing. Except for give it a cube there. I don't know. But it is a fantastic game. It is rated 7.2 on Board Game Geek, and I would kind of agree with that. I'd say it's a 7. It's around a 7 for me in Board Game Geek scoring terms.
I definitely want to try it. I think my game group played it before I joined them, so because I joined them mid 2019, so they probably played, because I know I've seen it on his shelf. So I've always wanted to try it out. Yeah.
I think the game length, oh man, I wonder if I recorded what our games were. Yeah. I mean, probably around, with 4 players, it's about 3 hours. We played it once, 2 players, but I didn't record how long that took us. So a little bit lengthier. It's not the standard hour and a half Euro game that I like the most, but so this one won't come and hit the board as much, but it's still really good.
Yeah, I've always avoided it, and I've avoided Trois just because I thought, well, these are too heavy and too long. And
oh man, Trois. I don't
they're
think
too
Trois
early
really
for me. Well, I just avoided it. It was just an impression.
That's fair.
But I've been playing some really heavy, longer games lately, and actually having a good time. So I should come and give it a try.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
New George.
That's Black Angel. And with that being said, we're going to wrap this episode up because it has went a little bit longer and it's actually past midnight. So I'm dying.
Okay.
Anyway, we want to thank you again for tuning into episode 158 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. This episode was recorded on December 5th, 2025. Please send questions and comments to meeplecore@gmail.com. Follow MeepleCore on your favorite social media platforms and check out video versions of the show when I upload them on youtube.com/MeepleCore. Until next time, this is Tim Jennette, the Man of Meeple.
George Breden.
James Fitzgerald.
Keep on rocking and rolling dice.